So I guess it's time to talk about Dr. Mundo? Unless you've been living under a rock, you'll have probably seen this, or heard about this, and you might feel some kind of way about all that. So today I just want to talk a little bit about what happened, how we got here, how Mundo works, and doesn't, and why I think Riot hasn't done anything about it. And while VoiceOver Me is doing that, past me will be giving this strategy a try myself. Hello and welcome to another entry in the League Encyclopedia. Today we're having a little look at Mundo, so let's get started. At the start of the year, and more or less in general, even before that, Dr. Mundo had like a normal pick rate of 3% or something like that. He was enjoyed by some, but wasn't a big offender, and most people didn't mind laning against him. He's kind of an easy lane, actually. Just normal status quo type stuff. His ban rate was also steady at 7%, but there's always some people that have trauma and they ban champs for no reason, right? For me, that's Pyke. I cannot seem to get a win against Pyke players, okay? I have a 1-17 record. It's actually insane how that champion just specifically does something to me where I just lose. I just lose. I'm getting off topic, sorry. Real quick though, what are your trauma champions? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, back to Mundo. So earlier this year, top lane streamer Alois NL participated in an event with a bunch of other streamers where they flew to Korea to try and climb the ranked ladder there as fast as possible. Events like this are nothing new and often include subscription goals during their runtime. It's just a fun way to discover new content creators and support the ones you already like. Usually those goals come with prizes or incentives to make subscribing now more enticing. One of those prizes for Alois NL was that he would cosplay Dr. Mundo. The goal was met and he delivered. But what does this have to do with Mundo's pick rate skyrocketing? Tons of people cosplay stuff all the time and it doesn't move the needle. Well, he didn't just put on a suit and some blue paint, you see. He went all out, and he really delivered, incorporating props, and most importantly, well-edited videos to go with his cosplay. He's a charismatic guy, and he put on a show for his audience. All of this got his content even more traction. Keep in mind, this is on the heels of a streamer event where he already got a ton of exposure. Needless to say, he went viral. And he didn't do it just once. I mean, how could he? As a content creator, you do what works. And boy, did the blue paint work. I should probably also mention that he's quite good at the game and has been preaching for people to play Mundo for some time now. Speaking of, let's check in on how my first game of the reworked Mundo is going. Okay. Let's hope that turns around after I get a few items, and we'll check back later. So we have exponentially more eyeballs on a guy so committed to the bit and making it look easy to climb the ladder on Dr. Mundo. In a meta where tanks in general are strong. Maybe too strong. That's a topic for another video. Subscribe to see when that drops. Simply put, he makes Mundo look good. Too good not to at least try out. And that's what this is. I mean, it's just insane to see a champion pick rate go up like a vertical line at the same time that the ban rate is also doing that. Imagine the folks at Riot just seeing that and wondering, did something break? But no, it's just a viral moment from some random streamer in the Netherlands. Shout out to the Netherlands though. Did my masters here? It's an awesome place. But something did break a while ago, and they tried a little bit to fix it. I'm talking about Warmogs. Remember when Leona's support was rushing it? You can't do that now because they raised the required bonus threshold to curb that behavior and delay the spike where you can trade with impunity and just regen back to full because, quote, that's toxic for the game but not toxic enough to remove? Point is, with Mundo rushing Warmogs, this play pattern is basically AFK push towers, be impossible to kill because you just ghost or ult away from any danger, and you outtrade anyone that tries to stop you. Oh, and he can also kill squishy champions with his full combo. He just runs at you. I don't know how that's not an unhealthy play pattern. I just don't. Do you? Let me know. It's not just the item, though. I mean, Cho'Gath, Ornn, Sion, they could all rush Warmogs too, but they don't really, so what makes Mundo special? See, Mundo's kit has one really obvious weakness, but it's the kind of weakness that's hard to exploit in solo queue. In fact, it's so hard that it's also his biggest strength. What I'm talking about is that he heals slowly over time, as opposed to one big burst or consistent shielding over time. This means to take him out, you have to burst him before his healing negates the damage done. But he's a tanky boy, so you have to burst him as a team, since no one member is likely to be able to do enough to actually get through him. This is why I said his weakness is also his strength. Mundo's success relies on the uncoordinated efforts of solo queue players. He has no CC outside of a skill shot dependent slow, no dash, no blink. He's just a beefy boy running at you, or away from you. There's one more thing about Mundo that makes it hard to kill him, but which also relies on the lack of coordination, and honestly, just information about how the champion works, and that's his W, Heart Zapper. I bet most players have no idea how this ability works outside of Mundo heals when he uses it, but a quick read-through of the ability reveals that his healing is quite conditional on what his enemies do during it. There's two things I want to highlight here. The first is the amount of damage converted to gray health falls off sharply from 80+% down to a flat 25 after the first 0.75 seconds. And the second is that his healing, when he reactivates it, is doubled if he hits at least one champion with it. Knowing these two things, it should be fairly obvious to not use all your big burst abilities in that first second, and to do the best to not be standing in that circle around him. But that's not what I see happening. The next time you have a Mundo in your game, which, like, given his popularity right now is just around the corner, watch how people behave around his W. Hell, people behaved weirdly around my W when I played him. No one respects it, and it's quietly one of his most important tools to survive. Speaking of surviving, let's do another check-in to see if I managed to stop feeding. Looks like I managed to stabilize after the laning phase and just push. Seriously though, after getting Warmogs and being able to just mostly ignore the KO, I was kind of feeling inevitable. Like, I wasn't ahead or anything, but my plan was clear, and I knew if I just kept playing my game, it would lead to good outcomes. I'm not saying Mundo is OP or anything, but you don't have to try too hard or know too much about the game to get pretty good results. We could talk about his passive and how he can ignore the first source of CC, but honestly, that's just more of the same points. Relies on coordinated team efforts, doesn't let him pick it up, blah, blah, blah. So instead, let's quickly talk about what Riot is doing about it. Alright, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously though, Riot is monitoring the situation and will of course take action if it gets out of control, but right now their stance is literally just wait and see. Because although his pick rate is up, his win rate is not, which makes sense when you have a bunch of players picking him up for the first time. So that's all I had for today. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on Mundo are, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see future ones like it. Thanks for tuning in to the League Encyclopedia.